Welcome to another live stream of The Ghost of Highbury. I'm your host, Anton Keith. It is a pleasure to be with you for another live stream. How's everybody doing? I hope that we don't have any more audio or video technical issues. That would be great. It's a pleasure to be with you. If you can hear me, great. Give me a high five or give me a yes in the chat, just so I know that everything's working. I tested everything before I uh, before I kicked off. So hopefully everything is good. I hope everybody's enjoying their night. I hope all the Gooners out there are doing well and you're getting yourself prepared for the U.S. versus El Salvador game. And so, a couple of things I want to talk about tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about, as you guys saw in the header, should we bring Jack Wilshere home? He's did some interviews. He's done some he's made some press runs. He's been on some podcasts and stuff like that. You can tell that, he even said that he made a mistake by leaving. When Unai Emery kind of gave him, kind of put the writing on the wall that, he thought that, he wasn't going to play enough. So he needed to go, to go elsewhere to get playing time, which is not I wouldn't say that's wrong, right? Because if somebody tells you're not going to play you, I think the obvious answer is to go somewhere where you're going to get some playing time. And, in doing so, he kind of, hinted that he kind of regretted it. And he wants to come back and play. He thinks he can contribute. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to look at his injury record and, just have a conversation about some other things. Like, ideally, is, his age a factor? And he's not very old, right? He's probably I think he's the same age as Granit Xhaka. He's the same age as, I believe, El Nini. I think that he is the same age as a lot of guys, but I think his injury record is the issue. And so we're going to take a look at that at said injury record, and then we're going to maybe come to a consensus. If you're new to the show, my name is Anton. I'm your host, and this show has been around for about a week now. And I'm just plugging through every day, trying to build a brand. And I'd love for you to like and subscribe. But more than that, engage in dialogue about our beautiful club, Arsenal. And so we're going to talk about Jack. We're also going to talk about Serge Aurier. He terminated his contract on deadline day, which is, I don't know the rules. I don't know if you're a free agent, you can just kind of walk in at any point. But if I don't know if you guys knew, but Arsenal is his boyhood club. I mean, I remember when he first went to Tottenham, he wanted to come here first, but we already had Hector Bellerin in place, so we kind of brushed him by, and Tottenham picked him up. But the reports are that he terminated his contract on deadline day, and he wants to remain in London. Now, that doesn't guarantee him some sort of he has to stay here or anything like that. But it does raise an eyebrow. So we're going to talk about that as well. Personally, we'll touch on that when I get there. Then we're going to talk about the England game against Romania. And, where I would love to discuss the fact that, they dusted off Romania 4-0. The biggest story is, of course, the monkey chants and the racist abuse and the bottles and cups and things like that hurled at the England players. And so, there's sort of a discourse that's going on online right now about what should be done. I've seen people from Romania who are Gooners saying, on behalf of me, I'm sorry, my country's this and that. And then you've had pushback, like, was it Romanians that abused Saka? I've seen things like that. And so, what can be done? I honestly don't know. But that's why I'm here. I didn't create this show because I want to pretend that I have all the answers. I wanted this show to provide sort of a base of discourse for Gooners to have conversations and see if we can come up to consensus and some sort of rhyme or reason to the things that are going on in and around our club. And being that we have several players in the English squad and around it, it behooves us to sort of have the conversation. So, and then we're going to talk about, we're going to move from like the first team or the adult team to the under 21s, and where they had to cancel their games because of COVID. They didn't really reveal who were the people who had COVID, but I believe we have 4 or 5, I think 4 players on that team: Smith Rowe, Balogun, John Jules, and I think someone else. And so we'll take a look at that and see what that's gonna mean, because now that is, we're 4 weeks into this new season, and COVID has just, is just on us like a bad rash. And so, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to talk about whether people should get vaccinated or not. I'll leave that for someone else's show. I'll just talk about how it affects our team, and what if anything we can do. Because I personally believe people's vaccination statuses and things like that are their personal privacy. And so I just, I've seen people debating because of Xhaka and, online, and it just I don't think that we're at a place right now where we can have sensible debates, because of the severity of the issue, and how much COVID is a hotbed topic. I just want to talk about it from a standpoint of it affecting our team. And especially with Smith Rowe and Balogun being on the team, we're going to kind of count on them. And if that's the case, and if they do have it, what that's going to mean for us returning. Because as we know, actually, we do also need to talk about the game that happened this morning with Brentford, and we dusted Brentford off 4-0, and what that meant for 3 at the back. And so we got a lot of things to talk about. We're going to end off in about, let me check time. In about a half hour, U.S. plays El Salvador. And so we're going to check in that game. I'm probably going to have to adjust my TV because it's sort of bouncing off that water. Boy, you can't really see it. So that's good. I'm glad I got a good lens on this camera, and it's focused directly on me. So hopefully, nothing happens or anything like that. But yeah, that's just a reflection of my TV. That's actually a whiteboard back there. But yeah, so I have in the back over here, I have Argentina, Venezuela on. And then at 10 o'clock, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to U.S. El Salvador to see how, this sort of blended team can come together, and see if we can make a run during, for the World Cup, because I would love to see us go far. So without further ado, do me a favor, drop a comment, let me know where you're coming from and how you're doing, and if there's something else that I didn't mention that you want to talk about, let's talk about it. Okay. So let me get comfortable. I hope you got your coffee. I hope you got your wine. I hope you got your beer. I hope you got tonight. I'm drinking carbonated water. That's all I'm doing. I got like a little pineapple strawberry carbonated water thing. So that's all I'm doing tonight. No wine, no coffee, no nothing. No, I usually do coffee. Last night I think I did wine, but tonight we're gonna do water. So let's jump in. Like I said, I hope you guys can hear me. If you have any audio or video issues, please leave me a comment below. Let me know, and I can address them. I have everything right here. I can pretty much fix anything. Cameras straight ahead right there, and so I don't know what happened yesterday. And for the people, I saw a lot of people tapped in yesterday. If you're watching it today, please, I apologize. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I think the mic was picking up from a different source and not from this microphone right here. So at the beginning of it, I was having some issues, but I reset everything, got it straightened out, and then we were good to go. And we pushed through last night's stream. So again, thank you for joining me, and let's jump in. So let's talk about Jack. My guy, your guy. Love Jack. Don't have any issues with him at all. But he has a injury list long as both of my arms put together. And that's just really the long and short of it. And I've seen this kind of love fest, because I was like, wow, and I started checking Twitter this morning. I started seeing some rumors about 2 teams coming in for Mo El Nini. And I think it kind of bounced from there to like, wow, if we get rid of El Nini, then we should then bring in Jack. And so they got me to thinking, first of all, would that work? And I don't know. I mean, the thing is, only doctors and medical professionals know, how he would hold up. I don't know, and I didn't really follow his career once he left Arsenal. So I don't really know. But I know he didn't play full seasons. I do know that, and I do have his injury record up, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. But as we talked about yesterday, What's up, PlayStation nerd? Good stream, good vibes. I'm with that. And so yeah, I know he's a Hale End boy, right? He wants to be here. But as we talked about yesterday, we talked about Mikel and doing what we call here Project 23, right? And what Project 23 in Project 23, I can't see him bringing in a 28-year-old injury prone player. That kind of gives me, and I don't want to sound blasphemous here, but bringing in someone like that kind of gives me Kel Castrom vibes, like coming in knowing that he's broken. I saw somebody created some videos on, it was on like joe.uk or something like that. It popped up on my Facebook feed and it talked about us being like a banter club. And I'm like, what is this? And they talked about that. Like they tested him and they knew he had a bad back and a broken back and they still signed him. And, it just brought back so many memories of the awful signings that we've made over the past like 10 years. Ever since like, the last time we were, it's so funny, ever since we were like in a Champions League final. And so, that kind of gives me that vibes. It's no disrespect to him, right? But my personal take on it is why would this manager do that? Would he do it because we're on his case? And he might look at it as a way to bridge the gap and kind of bring the fans a little bit closer to him and maybe earn him a little bit of love because, we want him out and we want like the whole management out right now. And, doing that might help bring us together and say, oh, well, he knew the fans wanted to bring him in. So they did. I remember when he first did this interview like 2 weeks ago, I was saying to bring him just to have him around the club would be good. Sort of like a Robert Perez type of deal, but Robert's a lot older. And so he's, Jack is still in his playing age. He's only 28, I believe. And so he wants to play. I don't think he wants to be in some ambassador style role. He wants to play football games. And so I heard he was training somewhere, but he wants to play. So because of the whole Mo El Nini thing, and it's crazy because the 4-0 game that they had, he actually got hurt slightly. I heard it was like, they kind of took him off as a precaution. But I'm like, oh, and so it's like Kolasinac got hurt, Mo El Nini got hurt. I'm like, everybody that we're trying to, sell to Turkey right now is getting hurt. And it's crazy because Cedric had 2 goals and we're trying to sell him to Turkey too. And so it's so wild. How like we're trying to sell these guys to Turkey this week, and then they're gonna go and get injured and then ruin their chances if they're even. I know Cedric has said he doesn't want to go to Turkey. He wants to stay here and fight for his place. And he turned up. A closed door session against Brentford. I don't know the lineup that they put out. Was it their full strength? I doubt it. I don't know. But I can't see 2 weeks ago them dusting us off and then we beating them 4-0. And we don't even have a full strength squad. I mean, I know we didn't have one then. We were missing Aubameyang, Thomas, and several other folks, but we still got dusted off. We never looked like winning that game. And so the fact that we won 4-0 tells me that something else might have been off. I wish instead of snapping pictures, somebody just would have, switched their button and put it on camera mode and record it so we could have, even some like highlights of the goals or something like that, some build-up play or something would have been nice. But whatever, it is what it is. We move. So let's talk about Jack's injury record. Let's pull this up. So this is transfermarket.us. If you want to know pretty much everything there is to know about a player, including like I don't know what algorithm they use if they created their own in terms of like player values and things like that. Like this is kind of like the place to go. As you can see, they have him rated, valued at about 2.25 $2.75 million, $2.7 million. And what is this? No, I don't know that. And so here, we're going to start. Let's go to page 2 and start. Okay, so starting from the 2009, 2010 season, okay, he missed 4 games. Then in the 11-12 season, he missed 10 games. And then in the 11-12 season, he missed 25 games. And then let's go to here. And then he missed 19 games. Then he missed 6 games, and then he missed 4 games. And so this stretch right here was not that bad. Okay, he missed 2 games. But once we started getting in this area right here, started in like 2013, 14, and look at the injuries. Sometimes, you see like, okay, he missed 2 games. Okay, but it's like ankle, 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 knee, fatigue, hairline crack in the foot, ankle, 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 knee, ankle. You know what I mean? And so every year he has an issue. Now, there are not many people who play at the highest level, at the highest teams, who play all of these games, Champions League, Premier League, in both cups, and then come out and just play every game, every minute, right? It just takes a toll on you. And plus, these guys have been playing since they were babies, okay? You can see these are some serious injuries, okay? Knee surgery, ankle injury, sprained ankle, which is not too bad. He only missed 2 games. Hairline crack in the foot. That was 11 games. Ankle injury. Okay. And then right here, hairline crack and calf bone. Okay. 47 games. Right. And then knee injury in 16, 17. And then, 16, 17 is where, he moved. He moved to I'm losing myself here. When Unai Emery took over. Okay. And so he moved to Bournemouth. Right. And he missed 1 game played, but he was out for 112 days, right? Then he moved from there to West Ham the next year, missed 11 games in 2018-19. Then that was in September. He came back. Then in December, he went out for ankle surgery. Right, so he injured it on the September 9th. By December 2nd, he had surgery, and then he was out until April 19th, basically the whole of the second half of the season. Then he had a groin injury in 2019, and he didn't miss any games. He was out 5 days, but he didn't miss any games. Then in 2019, 2020, he was out for 221 days with a groin injury. And then September 11th, 2020, he was out again with a calf injury. So he has extensive history of injuries and significant leg injuries. I mean, and if if these are all in his arms or shoulders or something like that, you could say, well, let's give it a shot. Let's see. But I think if he didn't have all these injuries, he would still be here. That's kind of like the long and short of it. He would still be here, but dealing with all of these injuries, and as you're dealing with these injuries and you're missing out, at a certain point, a coach has to bring somebody in to play in that spot. And I just think that as he filled that spot, sort of like Santi Cazorla, Santi tried and tried and tried, and we loved him and we wanted him to play and we wanted him to stay. But in the end, we understood that, the train had to keep moving, and that we had to board the train and keep going. And we had to kind of leave these players behind. The same with Abu Dhabi. And so, I don't really know what the answer is, but if I had to guess, I would say that we are probably not going to bring him back because of this injury record and because of the fact of his age. We aren't going to, I just don't think there's room. I think that Mikel has demonstrated what type of player he wants and what type of player he wants to bring in. And I, for one, and a lot of people online have expressed the fact that, yes, We understand that you want to bring in young, moldable, players who are going to grow in value. But we don't have much experience. We don't have much leadership. And if there is one thing that he would bring, I would say he would be captain material right out of the gate. There's a lot of these guys in this squad right now we don't really know about because of their lack of Premier League experience and their lack of football experience or their age, right? Jack coming into the team, I mean, I would feel, and if he let's just flesh it out for a minute. Let's just say they brought him back and they said, okay, we'll give you to the rest of the year. Every time you play, you get paid, right? And he came in and he was healthy, and he was healthy for there on in. I mean, for me, at minimum, he's got to be the co-captain or vice captain or whoever, right? I think that would boost the morale, and I think that the fans could get behind it because they would have a captain who is not afraid to get in anybody's face and that loves this club as much as we do and wouldn't be afraid to like tell these players what's right and what's wrong. And so I think that's a positive. Um, I just don't think, looking at the business that we're doing, looking at the players who are being shipped out, looking at the players who are coming in, I don't see that as I don't see that as evidence that he's going to bring him in. And so, I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I would absolutely be ecstatic. I mean, I would personally like to see more outs, way more outs before we bring someone like him in. I think if we were humming and we were top four and we had been top four and Jack just got healthy, he thought he could leave and it didn't work out and he wanted to come back. I think that would be a much better situation to come back to. But with all the turmoil we're in, all the issues that we've been dealing with, all of the players that we have spent all this money on and haven't panned out, I think that it can turn to something dangerous really, really quick. Let me know what you think. Throw them in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'm interested to know. Yeah, it would be interesting. It would be interesting. Wow. So I turned my back and ooh, when I started to stream, it was the start of the second half with Venezuela and Argentina. Lautaro Martinez, funny enough, had just scored right before the half. And now I look at the score and it is 3-0 Argentina, and it's about the 79th minute. So they're kind of running away with this. And like I said, I will turn on the US game once this is done in about 15 minutes. And so yeah, but that's it. That's kind of what I think. I just don't think that it would be a good move for us right now, except in that one leadership department. I think we're searching for a leader. I think we desperately want um Kieran Tierney to be the leader of the team. But I've seen even some former players like Kevin Campbell say that he just wants him to focus on his game. And I don't disagree with that, but I think somebody like Jack coming in could galvanize this team. I mean, you've seen the response from the young players, even the ones who aren't here anymore, even aren't, the held in guys who, even the ones who aren't still at Arsenal. I mean, the responses that they put out, like on Instagram and things like that, were amazing. I mean, they came up immediately and said, like, yo, like, you were amazing. We still love you. We still respect you. Basically, somebody give him a job. And so, like, he comes with that sort of pedigree. And I think that's something that if we're going to go with Project 23, I think we need a few people like that spread around. I'm not saying they have to be held in and bring all these older guys back or anything. I'm just saying we need some leaders there. We need somebody who can lead these young men and make sure that they stay in line, because they are a new type of player. They're not the guys who were coming up like in the 90s and things like that, professional. Like, a lot of these guys are professional, so I don't want to diss them like that. but a lot of them grew up with social media and flash and this and that, and they have more money and they're making more money than any other at any other time in the history of football. And because of that, and they're better younger than any time in the history of football. So because of that, I think that that comes with like a big responsibility, and we need people in that dressing room who can make sure that these kids understand the gravity of what they're getting themselves into. So, oh, wait a minute. Looks like Messi's getting ready to hit. Uh-huh. Looks like Messi's getting ready to hit a free kick just outside the box. Let's take a look at this. Get in the line. Messi. Oh, stopped it. Guy stopped it. Keeper caught it. So I thought I was going to witness a moment of magic since I missed the other two goals. Lautaro Martinez's goal at the right at the end of the first half was, poacher's goal. Right place, right time, plugged it home. You love to see it. Would have loved that guy at Arsenal, but again, Lacazette wasn't ready to go. I mean, I think that would have been the only way we could have, because we would have needed to free up some money. I mean, we freed up a lot of money, but we didn't need to free up a lot. He would have probably commanded somewhere in the area of 180 to $200,000. And so, in order to do that, we would have had to either get rid of either Aubameyang or Lacazette. We can't have a third person coming in on that type of money. So, I mean, I don't know how much Pepe makes, but I would almost guarantee he's probably in the 150s, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I can look that up. But all right, so let's move on from Jack. Like I said, let me know what you think. Let's move on to Serge Aurier. So, and the reports came out. So everybody saw on deadline day that Serge terminated his contract on deadline day. Why you would do that without having another club um lined up? I don't know. That's bad management. I have no idea why you would do that, but he did. And because of that, he doesn't really have a place to go, but he wants to go to, he wants to stay in London. I mean, and he's an Arsenal fan. So of course, even Sky Sports are creating reports saying that, he would be willing to go to Arsenal, like he would be doing us a favor or something like that. No, you ain't doing us no favors. Um, and so yeah, he wants to come. I'm sure he wants to come, but I don't think. How old is Serge Aurier? Let me see if I can look him up. Yeah, let's see. Pull him up on Transfer Market. Show you guys. Uh-oh. We've been dealing with a lot of 28-year-olds today. Yeah, so he's 28 years old. Ivory Coast International. Right back, things like that, has won things. And so yeah, he decided to terminate his contract. And so he was at PSG. I forgot they bought him from PSG. That's right. He was at Toulouse, and then he went to PSG, and then for some reason he went to Spurs. I think at that time he really wanted to go to Arsenal, but that was when 2018 to 2019. That was Hector Bellerin was doing his thing back then, so he had no shot. So for whatever reason, I mean, they have him valued at $22 million, and I think he's a decent right back. Let me see if I can pull up his stats. So he's has primarily played as a right back, has played some left back, and wow, even some center back. But that's in his career, not necessarily at Tottenham. But Yeah, I mean, has a lot of us at 17 assists in a couple years, um, 8 goals, had 15 assists at Paris Saint Germain, and in less games, and only 80 games, and then 13 and only 80 games at Toulouse. So, I mean, he does create assists, and he can score a goal every now and then. He just banged, some against us. I hated that, but here he is. And so, of course, because it's Arsenal, we're linked to everybody. We of course we got to have this link. And so, my take on this is no thank you. And not necessarily he is not a club legend like Jack is, and I don't know how you feel about Jack, but I would consider Jack a club legend. I think that everywhere Jack goes, if there's a gooner in a bar, they're gonna buy him a beer. Um, I think that Serge, the only thing going for Serge is he's an Arsenal fan. It's the only thing going for him, and that can't be the only criteria. Um, they didn't look at him. They had an idea of who they wanted, and Tommy, and then we got him. And it looks like, and I don't know if we're even gonna play Tommy at right back. I don't know if Cedric's gonna do it. I don't know if Ainsley Maitland-Niles is gonna do it. We're gonna talk about that because I don't know because of the missing players, but players were all over the place. Like Cedric played left wing back, Chambers played right wing back, Ainsley Maitland-Niles played in the middle with El Nini. And they still managed to do their thing. Man, I want to see that game. I just want to see goals. You know how it is. We're so like desperate for goals. Like we had our goal of the month, and we only had to pick from one game for the men. I mean, the women have been banging goals, but the men had to pick from one game was because we haven't scored any goals during the Premier League, so we had to pick them all from the under eights game we played against West Brom. It's kind of despicable, but we're here. So yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. You know what I mean? Not I think he is probably of the profile that we want in terms of creating assists and things like that. But I think that he wants a person who can tuck into midfield and sort of create a three while Tierney does his thing. And if you look at Tomiyasu versus Kieran Tierney going forward, it doesn't look like, if you look at their charts, that Tommy likes to bomb forward like Tierney does, and he wants that person to be able to get to form a three with the center backs, and let Kieran Tierney kind of do his thing going forward. And I don't think that that's Serge Aurier's game. I don't know if he would succeed in a three as being a right wing back. I think he'd probably be decent at it. But I don't think that it fit for us. And the same issue would run into with his age, where he's 28 years old, and Mikel wants to do Project 23. And he's not a club legend, so he wouldn't have that over his head as being forced by us to like maybe give him some sort of unnecessary shot or trial or something like that. He doesn't have that credit in the bank with the fans. He actually kind of has the opposite. We kind of don't care that he's an Arsenal fan because he played for them down the road. So yeah, it's interesting. I think we're gonna pass him. I don't think, I think that if we were gonna get him, I think we would have known that we were gonna get him, and we would have, Tottenham would have made sure that either they would have not sold to us because we're us and they're them and we have history. But I think that they would have wanted to make some money off the player. And so I don't think it's gonna happen. Unless something ridiculous happens, like we lose a player or something like that. I mean, I think there are plenty of places in London where he can play. He can play for Watford. He can play for Crystal Palace. He can play for, how many teams are in London? It's a ton. I mean, he can even play for QPR if he wants. I doubt if he drops down, but I think that he can play for Brentford. So There's a lot of teams he can play for, and he'll probably get picked up. He is quality. He is in his prime, whatever that may be. But I'm sure he'll get picked up. But I honestly don't think that it's going to be us. How much time are we looking at? 9:55. Let me give me a second. Let me switch over to our game. Like, what are you trying to do here? Checking a penalty over here. No, I don't care. Where is the US game? It's so many games. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna go to. There it is. So maybe if I don't want it to. I want it to stay out of focus. Make sure I don't get into any trouble. It can stay out of focus. I was gonna say I'm gonna swing it around so the chair kind of blocks it in my head, but then that'll put like the wall in focus for some reason. And I don't want to. This channel ain't good enough to be getting into trouble already. So yeah, so that's two things. We talked about Jack. We talked about Serge. Let's talk about the England team and the monkey chants that were going on. And I didn't, I don't know what we can do. Honestly, I have no idea what we can do about it. I really don't. Let me see. I was gonna pull up Sterling. Yeah. So I mean it's kind of despicable. That in 2021 we still have to deal with this sort of thing. I mean, you think about, I don't want to put it as a time period, but we're still dealing with players, and a lot of these countries have people from different, I don't want to say nationalities, but different cultures that might have darker skin on their team. I mean, when you looked at the Euros, you had people with brown skin in several different countries across Europe playing in a tournament. So you would think just by that, like booing people because of their skin is really just dumb. And I really don't understand it. But there's some places that they think it's okay. And I don't want to put it on all fans of because it was Hungary. So I'm not going to sit up here and say something ignorant like all Hungarian fans are racist or something like that. But, they allow that certain, element into their stadium to cheer. And you would think that as soon as something like that pops off, they would shut that down and get them guys out of there, but they don't. And that part about it, I just don't understand, because that's just not something that, like, if you were at a NBA game, right? And I've heard certain things about Boston. I don't know. Allegedly things about places like Utah and things like that where people have been shouting racist things, right? But you're talking about, in those instances, maybe 2 or 3 people saying something racist to a player or something like that. Imagine an entire section, right? Imagine an entire section of fans, probably 100 of them, chanting racist, like playing, singing racist songs and chanting things, throwing cups, bananas, making monkey noises, things like that. Imagine that here in America. Imagine a response from the rest of the stadium that might cause some sort of riot. Because we just wouldn't allow it. Do things happen here? Absolutely. So I'm not trying to prop up America as being like some sort of holier than endowed, identity. But I'm just saying the fact that in a major tournament that 100 people can get together and sing racist chants and make monkey noises and things like that. And the rest of the crowd and the security staff and everybody just doesn't say, you know what, get this entire section out, right? And just by the balance in the universe, there's going to be some people in that section who had nothing to do with that. That's just where their seat is, right? And they're going to get booted, right? But those are the people who need to get pissed because those are probably real football fans. But because of where I was seated, I get lumped in with you racists, and I'm sick of it, right? You know, because there's crimes of commission, there's crimes of omission. You can't just be like, well, you know, the guy next to me was like singing like racist chants, but you know, I'm just here. I'm just trying to here watch the game. You know, like sometimes you gotta step up and be bigger than that. You can't just let people just be out of control. Are the US kids yellow? They kind of got like the Arsenal away vibes going. I could be wrong. Hopefully my TV's not weird. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take that what's the name down so that just to make sure that I'm okay. Stand by for a second. Make sure the screen is grabbing me. Yes, sir. We good. Check. We back. So yeah. So like I was saying, yeah, anthems being sung. We're getting ready to kick off here in a little bit. We'll keep talking, and I'll peek over my shoulder every now and then and see how we're doing against El Salvador. Hopefully, it's a good game. We'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end. So yeah, I just don't get it. You know, UEFA, FIFA, they've talked a big talk. They'll throw a patch on a shirt. They'll put a banner down on the ground, or you know, have like a little crawl or something at the stadium or something like that, and they'll make a little speech or something like that. But these people will still find a way, and until you stamp them out completely, they'll continue to do what they do, and it's sort of despicable. And I don't want to make it seem like um it's only one group of people because it happens everywhere, right? And it doesn't just happen against black people. It's just that's just it's sort of highlighted a lot when it's black people, but it doesn't just happen to black people. So I even saw some things. Some people write some kind of nasty things against Tomiyasu, and I'm like, man, this brother can't even get in the door good. Like, man, like you gotta have a day off. Seriously, have a day off. Like, what is going on in your life where you're so concerned about another person? I I absolutely don't understand that. I really don't. Like, I just waking up every day and thinking about another person in that way that you're like it moves into like jealousy and envy and things like that. It's just sick, and you need to like improve your life, so because when you're doing your thing you don't have time to be worried about other people. All right, so let's move on from that. I just wanted to touch on that because I saw that as I was getting ready for the show. I didn't see that post. I saw the end of the game and I just was like, wow, I can't, like, wow. I didn't watch the game. I do want to watch I do want to watch the US team. I didn't watch any of the European internationals just because I watched a ton of the Euros. I did watch the U.S. tournament about a month ago. I was actually in Mexico during the final. I was actually in Cancun on vacation, watching the final from my room and screaming, and probably like I probably should have been screaming so loud. Probably somebody's gonna put something in my food or something like that because, as we scored that goal to win gold, man, I was absolutely losing it. And I had a great time. Big shout out to Cancun, one of the best places in the world to vacation. People were amazing. We just had an amazing time. So teams getting ready. These guys look ready to go. El Salvador looked great in the tournament too. So that another reason why I am interested. Looks like back four of Dent, Adams. No, not Adams. Let's see how we looking together. Yeah, Dest, Reams, Robinson, Yedlin, McKinney, Adams, Aronson in the middle, De La Fuente, Sargent, and Rainier round out the top. And so, yeah, we're gonna kick off here in a little bit, and if somebody does something cool, we'll stop and take a peek. Sorry, hopefully you guys get it turned on where you are. But yeah, I'm watching it. I think it's on the CBS Sports if you're looking for, because I had a tough time finding it, so it's on CBS Sports. But let's move on to the under 23s, the England team. And they announced this morning that they were not going to travel for their game because of a couple of confirmed cases of COVID amongst the team. They didn't release the players. I mean, they didn't release who it was amongst the team. I don't know if it's because they're, under 21 or whatever. Maybe because of health issues. I don't know how they work over there in terms of names and things like that. But they decided not to travel. They confirmed with the opposition. They said, no, don't come out here. And they said, okay, we won't come. I'm concerned, of course, because life is life, but I'm also concerned as an Arsenal fan because we have several players in that team, much more than we have in the main adult team. We got Smith Rowe, we got Balogun, we got John Jules, we got. Let me see. Let me look up. Just look up England. Let's see. Game is kicked off. It's taking me a while to scroll down here because everything is about all of the goals and stuff that happened against Hungary. Yeah, so it says this was from England's Twitter account, and it said England's men's under 21s will no longer travel to play Romania on Friday after 2 positive COVID-19 tests were reported within the party of players and support staff. It has been decided to cancel the trip as a precaution, and our thanks to the Romanian Football Federation for their understanding. The individuals concerned were immediately isolated from the rest of the group, with the squad still based at St. George's Park. The Young Lions were focused on preparing for next Tuesday's home fixture with Kosovo at MK Dons to mark the start of the qualifying for the 2023 European Under-21 Championship. So, yeah. So now they're going to miss a game. And again, like they said, they isolated the players. I didn't see any Arsenal news come out about, any of our players, but we know we've had Granit Xhaka, we have Lacazette, we had Renison, we had Willian, we had Aubameyang, we've had, I think there's somebody else who got as well. We had Pep, who had just gotten ill, who wasn't necessarily, I don't think he tested positive for COVID. So, yeah, I mean, I think that it is going to be a potential problem for us moving forward. I don't want to put this out in the universe, but I think that we're going to have an issue, until it kind of runs its course through our team. And that's not good. Wait a minute. What we got going on here? Let's see. Oh, just a kickoff. All right. I thought they were setting up for a penalty or something like that. Like, man, really, I need to really bring this stream so you guys can tell me, because I got to turn my head to see the TV. Let's see. El Salvador is right outside the box, making it, kick into the go up, headed away, chasing it down. Man, they have like 3 feet of out of bounds space on the far side, man. Oh my gosh. Somebody goes running into that far side touchline, they're gonna hurt themselves. Another cross into the box from El Salvador is blocked off. Nice spin. Okay, we're on the break. Okay. Gio Reyna. Oh, gets dispossessed. Great drive. We save it. Okay, still looking good. Moving in and around the box. Little give and goes. Oh, nice turn. Okay. Play this in and no, still nothing. Yo. Nope. I thought we had an attempt. Oh, we might. McKinney. Okay, play this in. Oh, almost off a deflection. Wow. Okay. So we're looking good. We're looking good so far. Played in, had a couple tricky passes, things like that, and we caught a deflection and almost went in. Who is that? Aronson. Yeah. Almost scored. So anywho, it's going to be a problem. I think. I mean, I don't like I said. I don't want to put it out in the universe, but I also think that like if you're being realistic, we've had somebody test positive every single week since the Premier League started. So I don't see that continuing. And like I said at the top, I'm not going to talk about people's willingness or unwillingness to get vaccinated, but because they do or they don't, the science shows that it doesn't stop you from getting COVID. It just reduces the chances of you having significant sickness. And so I know a lot of people who have gotten. I think Lacazette probably had some. Ben White was the other person, but I don't think that they've had significant illnesses. But that is. But again, even when you are vaccinated, it doesn't really stop you from spreading. And so I think that once it's in, no matter how much they clean, and I'm sure they are cleaning. Why wouldn't they? They've learned their lesson with being kind of the first team to kind of where it came through. That they, it's just gonna have to take its course. So my question is, how long is it gonna be there? I just don't know. I really don't know. But like, if it keeps up at this rate, we're gonna lose a lot of players, and we're gonna be short every week. So all these things we want to do with sort of like Project 23 and things like that, we're gonna have issues with because people are gonna keep coming down with COVID and missing training and then missing games. And it's not like, the good thing is we don't have a lot of games, but that can be a cursing and a blessing. It can be a blessing because we don't want to have so many games without our full strength squad. But at the same time, they need those games to work out the kinks. Okay. All right. We're making another drive. Oh, there's a foul just about 15 yards outside the box. I think we're going to do I think we were trying to do a quick. And things are Tyler Adams is kind of getting into it with somebody. Yeah, it was a foul on Conrad, and I think that the U.S. players weren't too happy about that. So they were trying to do a quick free kick, but they stepped in front, so it looks like it's going to be an indirect here. It would have been great to have Pulisic, but he's kind of recovering from COVID himself and hasn't trained. So he decided not to go. So it looks like Rain is going to take this free kick from the left side. I didn't know that we had beef with El Salvador, but the way this game is starting, it looks like we kind of do. Reina puts a nice ball in, and just missed it. Oh man, bullet header, free header, free, absolutely free by Robinson, the hero who won us the gold medal against Mexico on a header. Absolute free header into the to the goal, and hits it just above the bar. So we continue. Good kickoff, but we're looking good so far. I'm sure it's just a matter of time before we put one in. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just praying that we can move past COVID quickly, because if not, we're going to be short. We're just going to be short. And so, yeah, so let's talk about the last thing I want to touch on before we kind of focus more on the game is the game that we played. So out of nowhere, they came and this morning they announced that we played Brentford this morning, and closed behind closed doors, and we beat them 4-0. Cedric scored a pair of goals, like Lacazette scored a goal, and Gabriel scored a goal. And so great. I'm glad that they're doing it. I don't know, maybe it was pre-planned. Maybe they just gave each other a call and said, "Hey, you want to do something on international break?" And they said, "Yeah." Brentford is a London-based team, so it wasn't a lot of travel going on, and probably not that much risk of exposure or anything like that. So they said, "Yeah, let's do it." You know, um, I would have liked to have seen that game because it's against Premier League competition that has already dusted us off. But we did good. We were all over the place, and it sounded like we kind of made do what we had, and it was probably more of a test of the formation versus the players, and it sounded like we passed that test. Um, I don't particularly like Cedric on the left. I can't remember. I remember one goal he set up where he switched it back to his right foot and crossed the field. I think Saka was on the other side. Oh man, this is gonna get ugly pretty bad here. And so he set up a goal, but besides that, he hasn't done many good things on the left, and they played him as a left wing back, and apparently he did really good. And so good for him. Because I know he was one of the ones that we wanted out, and we didn't understand why we did what we did, but here we are. I just want to make sure I'm gonna close this out. We don't need to see that anymore. Save myself some bandwidth sharing my screen. So, that offsides. Well, Salvador just got in on goal, but I think it was offsides. Close. Let me see. It's a replay. Cross the field to the winger. He gets into heavy touch, and they're saying handball against our player. But no, I don't think they're setting up for the corner, so they must have moved on. Corner setting up for El Salvador. Ball in. Wow, deflected out for our second corner. That was a great ball in. 12 minutes in, still 0-0. El Salvador setting up for another corner on the right side now. Ball in. Short corner. And swung in. Headed away. Is that Robinson? Yep. Headed away again. They return, but wait a minute, get a player down. Possible head injury. He waves on the medics pretty quickly. Can't see who that is. He seems to be okay because he's arguing with the ref. So I'm sure he's okay. Couldn't see who that is. Ooh. Oh, that's McKinney. Oh, it's Adams. Okay, it's Adams. They're telling me he has to go off since the medic's king. So anywho, yeah, but seems like we did good, but but we played 3 at the back. So just like again, I got to give a shout to Latte Firm for the great podcast about Tommy, and talking about that he thinks that they're going to bring him in to play the right side of a 3. And so it looked like the 3 today was reportedly was Gabrielle, Ben White, and Mari playing in a 3, which, okay, I haven't done that. But, I know that Ben White came from a 3, and Mari has sometimes played in a 3, but not a lot. And so, again, we talked about this yesterday and the day before. If we're switching, can they do it? Can they do it? Cross in by El Salvador. Does he save it? Yes. They get it back. Oh, no, it's going to. Cross in. Ooh, that was dangerous. Out for a throw. Can these players do it? And we're going to find out against Norwich. I'll be interested to see if they play 3 at the back. Thomas didn't play. I would have liked to have seen him getting some minutes. Maybe they'll do another closed door game. I heard there was no injuries except the slight one to El Nini, and they kind of subbed him off, and Charlie Patino came in and really impressed. It's one of the up and coming youngsters that are coming up through the under 23s right now who people really love. So I'll be interested to see him and how he's doing. But so yeah, I'm glad that they do. Hopefully they do another one and Thomas can play. But they said that he should be ready to go after the international break. So I'm happy about that. We're getting Thomas back. And also Lukonga impressed during his stint. He came on as a sub in his very first international game, and people are really giving him a lot of plaudits for his game. And so, it looks like we've I don't want to say stumbled upon, because it looks like they were after him the whole time. And we might have a gem. But wait a minute. Let's see. El Salvador has another corner they're setting up for. These are not good. Ball in. Header. Oh, just high. Just high. Bullet header, too. Wow. That was close. Looks like Rodriguez hit the header. Great ball in. Great header. Just maybe a foot over the top crossbar. Oh, that's so close. U.S. needs to tighten up if they want to win this game. I know they're. Oof. It just seems like El Salvador is winning every ball, right? They're just winning every header and things like that, and they're trying to keep possession, earn themselves corners and free kicks and things like that. Put dangerous balls in the box, and hopefully they get lucky and hit something. But yeah, I'm glad they played. It from the sounds of it, everybody played well, and there was no injuries barring El Nini. Sounds like he's probably going to be okay. But I'm glad they did, and hopefully we play another one and they get closer. But if we're gonna go 3 at the back, it's gonna be interesting. I think that's probably the last time Aubameyang was doing some scoring. So it'd be interesting to see where he lines up, how Pepe fits in, how Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard fits in. Because I know that middle is kind of like, if you're playing 3 at the back, you don't really, it doesn't really leave a lot of room for any creativeness down the middle, and that's where Aubameyang kind of flourishes. So how does a player like Odegaard fit into that? That's sort of my issue with that. I mean, I'd be great if we stop letting in stupid goals off of throw-ins and things like that. That's great. But if we're not creating anything and we're not scoring any goals, that's a bigger issue for me, because we've gone 3 games without scoring. And that's we need to deal with that. And so I would like to see how that's going to work. I would love to have seen that game, even though Lacazette was the one who played and did score. I'm sure he played down the middle. And so I think he scored on a free kick. I think they said. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles went right, got fouled just outside the box, and then Laka banged it in. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It makes me look more forward towards Norwich and see how we line up, if he thinks they're ready to go to a 3, or do they stay with the back. They stay with 4 at the back. So yeah. But that's it for sort of like Arsenal news and things like that. Do me a favor, give me a like. Please subscribe, like the video, and please join the Ghost. If you're interested in coming onto the show, having a conversation, having some discourse, very easy to do. Really just send me an email and let me know ahead of time, or leave me something in the chat saying you want to have a conversation, you want to come on and talk. It's very simple. If you're going to send me an email, I am at ghostofhighbury@gmail.com. If you want to, text me on Twitter. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to gain followers, just to gain more exposure for the stream. You see it right up here. I'm at Highbury Ghost US. Um, just trying to engage with everybody and grow this band, grow this brand. And so, what just happened? Their coach seems pretty pissed. Oh, I think they have another indirect free kick into the box. Yep. Oh, nice and big. Oh, we stopped that. That's good. We got to keep it seems like we don't seems like we're not holding possession very well. So, yeah, but that's it. Interact if you follow me on Twitter, please interact with me. Please try to catch a stream. Um, Even if you can't stay the whole time, I try to do anywhere between an hour 20 minutes unless something's going on. I'm trying for now to try to do one every day at some point throughout the day, every day, just to try to build momentum and build up the videos and streams and things like that. I do stream on Twitch as well. If you're catching this on YouTube and you're wondering if I have a Twitch stream, I do. It's at Ghost of Highbury. That's all. If you just search, they'll come up. Once FIFA 22 comes up, I am going to be streaming my career mode with Arsenal on FIFA 22, and then we'll be talking about, we'll talk about all things Arsenal as I play FIFA, and you'll see how I like to do my career modes and things like that. I've been a career mode junkie for years, and so I want to try to integrate that into the stream, and so we can have some fun with that. You guys can tell me things people I should buy and things like that, and then we're also going to have some traditional show style, not just a stream. We're gonna have some traditional videos as well. I'll probably do a couple short videos touching on small topics here and there, but more what I would like to do is get some people on who are in the know, not necessarily in terms of transfers and things like that. I mean smart gooners who have some solutions to some of the things that we have questions to. So I'm already reaching out. If you're one of the people I reached out, please do me a favor. I've reached out on social media to a couple people. Hopefully they can write me back pretty soon and we can get some things going. So yeah, so I'm just gonna take a look at the game. I'm gonna hang out for a few more minutes. I got about 15 minutes, and I'm gonna hang out on the game. Hold on, let me see. Send a message real quick. Yeah, so yeah, the US needs to kind of keep possession. That's the problem. They are kind of dominating the middle of the pitch. I mean, it looks like they kind of have a low block going in and things like that. We're getting double teamed on the wings. We got to be tricky. I don't know how we can do it. I don't know if this team is set up to the. Whoa, what a move by Denst. But he got bullied off the ball. I thought Denst was a right back. It seems like in this game he's playing left back. No, he saved that. No, it's probably out. Yeah, we haven't really had possession for a long time, except for like the first few minutes of the game. We just need to, we need to get to a point where we're kind of dominating in the middle of the park, and they seem to be outplaying us in the middle of the park. A lot of one-touch passing and getting it forward. We're doing a lot of fouling, things like that, and kicking balls out for corners and things like that. And that's kind of probably playing right into their hands because they think they can, they could probably sneak one in on a corner or something like that. Yeah, so it looks like that's what he's telling them now. Just hold on to possession a little bit. Let us settle into the game because it doesn't look like they're settled into the game. They are pressing us, and we're not really dealing with it very well. Up, almost lost possession on the press, and we did. If you're following me on Twitch, let me know where you're tapping in from. I'd like to know. Let me check the stream here. I think I get both on this app. Yeah. Yeah, tap in. Let me know where you're coming from. We've had a lot of people tap in and tap out. Big shout to you. Even if you listen to me for 30 seconds, big shout to you. Appreciate the love. I understand I'm starting from scratch and it's going to be a lot of 0 days right here, but hey, I'm here for the long run. I love my club and I love talking about my club. So I'm going to be here. It's funny. I actually do this for a living. I am a podcast producer and video maker and things like that for other people. I sit here at this desk in the studio and you can see over here in this studio over here, I record podcasts for other people and I engineer for other people. But this is my personal home studio. Sometimes I do podcasts here for people. Sometimes I'm mobile and I help other people. But this is sort of my thing. I have some other things that I do, but I've always wanted to do something Arsenal related. And so, it's kind of coming to fruition now. So I'm super excited. I understand that no one knows who I am. And I'm not a reporter or some sort of in the know or anything like that. So I know that it's gonna take a while, but I'm here and I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying the conversation and I enjoy seeing people tap in, tap out. And hey, thank you so much if you did. And I hope that I can earn your likes and earn your follows and we can enjoy Arsenal together. About 25 minutes in, and we still just can't. Kenny's not keeping possession. Did you hear? And it was like on deadline day, like it's like I don't know, like 6-7 hours until deadline day's over. Where McKinney, they were saying they were offering McKinney from Juventus to Burnley. I would have lost my mind if we would have lost McKinney. I mean, if McKinney would have went to Burnley, I don't know where that came from and who started that rumor, but it had a little bit of smoke to it. So much so that I saw it reported a couple of times, and I'm like, there is no way that he could be, um, that he should be going there. Mm, yeah. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah, we just can't keep possession. Uh-oh. Another fight's touching off. They're having to break up things. Tyler Adams is a spicy guy. I think he's captain tonight. Oh, Dance is getting fouled, and he's not liking that. Ball in, punched away by their keeper. We keep possession. We hit it back in. Is that a foul? Yeah, it's a foul. Foul going the other way on McKinney. Kind of bodied the guy to kind of get possession. Hopefully this game doesn't end 0-0. We're starting to dominate the middle a little bit. I think that, and I could be wrong. I know Josh Sargent went to Norwich, which I hope to see a little bit of him when we play them next week. Ooh, over the top end. Ooh, no, they screwed the pooch with that. A great ball in for El Salvador, and they just didn't do enough with that. That was a dangerous play right there. Kind of a bang bang play. Oh, he hit it one time when he got inside the box. No, that was terrible. El Salvador's looking dangerous. They've done more with their chances than we have done with ours. I was just making sure that the microphone was working there. No, sometimes I feel like my mic's not working. If not, I'm gonna have to check and see because I saw it. I saw my levels moving earlier, but right now I don't see them moving, and I don't know if it's because of a cord issue or whatever. But I'm just gonna make sure that they're working. Yeah. But yeah, so I just wanted to check out a little bit of game with you guys. It's been great. It's been fun. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what time. Maybe early. Maybe early tomorrow, maybe a little bit earlier in the afternoon. And we will discuss, the weekend and what else we're gonna see. If some news comes out, we'll talk about that. Or let me know. Let me know. You follow me on Twitter. Let me know what you want to talk about, and then we'll decide. We'll move from there. So once again, this is the Ghost of Highbury show. I'm your host, Anton Keith. I appreciate you joining me. I will see you tomorrow, and enjoy the rest of the game. Hopefully, we score some goals. That would be great. If not, then we will discuss that tomorrow. So peace and love, everybody. It's been real. I'll see you in the next one.